started. And as we do, we're going to introduce our guests. So first up, we've got Shun, we've got Knight, and we've got Shoko here with us today.
Hello, hello.
Do we want to start with some introductions? Do you guys cool with introducing yourselves? Yeah, awesome. Do you want to start with Shun? Sweet.
So hello everyone, I'm Shunsuke from Switzerland. I'm a cosplayer for about 11 years now, maybe a bit more, and a photographer, self-photographer for 13 years. It is my very first time in Australia. I'm really happy because Knight is one of my best friends and I have never visited her country, so I'm really pleased to be here and meet all of you.
Hello everyone, my name is Knight. I've been a cosplayer for 14 years now, but professionally since around 2016. And yeah, I'm based in Australia and I'm really happy to come to Melbourne because it's been a while since I've last been here and I'm very happy to see some old and new faces. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm very excited to answer all of your questions today.
Hello everyone, I am shookoboo, or Shoko. I am a cosplayer from Singapore that has been cosplaying for 13 years, yeah. And it's my first time in a Melbourne con too, and I just want to say I love the weather here. It's really nice.
This is like the first good day, like just letting you know. It wasn't like this like earlier this week. It'll be downhill from here. Enjoy your stay. Alrighty, well, so you guys have been cosplaying for over a decade. You guys are pretty experienced. What was the very first cosplays that you guys did? Or the beginning?
So the very first cosplay I did was Zero Kiryu from Vampire Knight when I was maybe 11 or 12, but I don't really count it as my, like when I started cosplay because it was the first thing I bought, and then it took a couple of years because before I actually started like doing cosplays more regularly. And my first handmade costume was Black Rock Shooter Gender Band, very long ago.
The classic gender bend. Always a good start.
I think my first cosplay was Colonella from Kata Kill Hitman Reborn. It's a super old shonen series. I made the whole thing from scratch and I had like a really cheap like dollar wig from those like reject shop stores or something. It was really ugly, but yeah, it's a special place in my heart because I really love this character.
My first cosplay was Naruto. Yeah, it's pretty basic, but it wasn't even a costume. It was it's like pajamas, kind of. And I went to a con in pajamas, and there wasn't even a wig. I used like colored spray to spray my hair. Yeah, let's not talk about it.
All right, reject shop coming in clutch there. Does anyone here go to the reject shop for like cosplay, like items or like bobby pins? Because I know that like when I go,
like the reject shop really comes in clutch. All right, next question. Do you guys have any cosplays at the moment? And if so, is there one that you're most excited to do?
I actually have several from Final Fantasy VII I'm working on, but I guess the one I'm the most excited about is Sephiroth. It's a project I've been working on for like 2.5 years now, gathering things, but I'm really slow. I'm not putting all my energy into it at all. But yeah, it's a really dear character for me, and the series in general, one of my favorites. So yeah, I want to do Zack, Rufus Shinra, Cloud again. Cloud I cosplayed a million times, but Sephiroth is the main one.
I think my 3 big projects I'm currently working on is Alucard from Castlevania. There's so many, by the way, there's so much backlog. Probably another Alucard from Hellsing, and I've wanted to do for so long Vincent from FF7 as well. That's a project that I'm just kind of slowly accumulating all of the materials, and hopefully I can get that done soon, but I don't know. With backlog, it's like you have one thing and then something new pops up and you just forget about all those other projects, so yeah, we'll see.
Mine at the moment would be Lucifer from Caspin, because I'll be doing that at the end of the year. I'll be trying to compete once more. So I'll be making like 6 wings again, and like the costume from scratch.
What are you hoping to compete in? Which competition? Is there a goal?
In Singapore, it's called Singapore Comic Con. Yeah, so it's more like Western fandom based with like all the games and the comics. So I think has been kind of, the community is kind of like there to during then. So I'll be like competing then.
Good luck. I'm sure you'll do well. All the best in getting it done in time. So you guys have become quite inspirations for a lot of baby cosplayers and even some veterans. What was it that inspired you guys to start like cosplaying and then make it into a professional kind of job? What inspired you guys?
So actually I started cosplay when it was very, very niche. And the reason I did it was because my best friend and I, back in the day, we were getting into puberty and our interests were growing apart. Like, she's a girl, I'm a guy, and we both liked anime. And we thought, what could we do that would like keep us like interested in the same thing so we can maintain our friendship and like cherish it. And we thought about cosplay, and that's how I started with her, actually on a Facebook page that we were holding together for a couple years. Eventually she grew out of it. We're still very good friends, but I basically kept on going on my own, and professionally it kind of just happened. Like, I never really tried to, like, because when I started it wasn't something that was really possible. Like, cosplay as a job was not really a thing, especially not in Europe. And as I started getting convention invites, I started making a little bit of money, and as time went, I realized I think I can make it my full-time job if I put more energy into it, and that's how I did it. It kind of just happened for me.
I would say, for me, it was purely out of curiosity, just because when I was born in Greece and then I moved to Australia, and so at the time, like in around 2010, so I was about 12 or 13 years old, going into like high school and stuff. I really wanted to make like new friends in like the country. So I always liked anime and this kind of stuff, and I think it was an advertisement for, oh my gosh, it was a really, really old convention back in the day, and I don't think it exists anymore. I cannot remember the name. I think it starts with an A, but yeah, it was a really old convention in Sydney, and I was like, oh, I really want to go and try it out, and yeah, I just went. And yeah, that was pretty much how it started. And then over time, maybe I started making social media around 2010 to 2013, and I was just progressively posting my cosplays that I would do at home and things like that. And I guess over time, I just got a lot of recognition for my work. And as Shun said before, it was a very niche thing, so I didn't really have the intention to make cosplay like my job or anything. I really was just very passionate about showing my work to people. And yeah, I guess 2016 was the first time that an event reached out to me in China to work with them for cosplay, and I was like, what? You can like do cosplay, like guesting and stuff? That's so cool. And yeah, it kind of grew from there. Yeah.
I think for me, it pretty much works like everyone. We all just were hobbyists, and then we kind of grew just like just keep cosplaying with your friends, and you just keep posting stuff. So you just kind of grow over time. And same for like the both of you. It's like we didn't know this would happen to get to the like point where we'll be doing this commercially. So it kind of just all happened as it was, I guess, for me. Yeah, especially in Asia, where like I didn't think it would get to the commercial aspect to it either. So it kind of just blew up from there, and then now everything's just kind of going as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Did you guys have any cosplays that you find are the most comfortable to wear?
For me, I would say it's Hal from Howl's Moving Castle. Well, first of all, the costume is fairly comfortable, like as a garment. But in general, the personality of the character is really like elegant and a little bit fruity. I don't know how to say, but like it's a type of character I really like acting as. It's just very natural for me to be doing those things with my hands. And I don't know, he's smiling a lot, so I'm smiling a lot, and it puts me in a good mood. So yeah, I would definitely pick Howl. It's really my go-to cosplay.
For me, I would say probably Raphael from Love and Deep Space. Not specifically, he has multiple outfits, and I despise, I think it's called Abyss Walker. I hate that one. It's full leather with like a mask. I'm like, that's not comfortable, but he's more casual outfits like cardigans and like t-shirts and things like that. I think it's very comfortable. And overall, I think my portrayal of him, I don't really need to be so trying to change my personality in that sense. Like, I think me and him have a very like bubbly, kind of energetic type of personality. So cosplaying him for me is very easy. Yeah.
I think for me it would be Kuzuha from Niji Sanji JP, because not only is the outfit really comfortable, but it's like to be in character more or less. It's kind of the same as how I normally do, kind of like all, you know, and then like it's kind of similar to Kuzuha. So it feels very comfortable to be in that cosplay the most. Yeah.
And is there any cosplay specifically that make you the most confident? Like you put it on and you just know you feel great, you look good, you feel happy, you can go out into public. Like, is there anything that's really, really stand out?
I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with the previous question, so I would pick Howl again, because since I feel confident in the costume, I just feel good. So yeah, I don't have another answer.
For me, I would actually say my version of Hal from Howl's Moving Castle as well. I don't know, something about Hal is just, when you put on the outfit, you feel so elegant and pretty, and I don't know, the hair, and it's just such a beautiful costume and look, so I love cosplaying him. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone not pull off Howl. A gorgeous cosplay.
I think for me it would be Kaito Kid from Detective Conan, because he's like a phantom thief, so he needs to be really confident to do what he needs to do. And it's also nice to have a cape to just like, you know, I don't know why, I just feel more confident in like something superhero-ish. You know, he's not really superhero, I guess. Yeah.
Capes always add like a flair. I love just running around conventions with a cape going, woo!
All right, there is a question that I did want to ask later on, but I'm going to ask it now while we're on the topic of Howl, and it's if you prefer black-haired Howl or blonde-hair Howl better.
Personally, I like the blonde hair outfit better. I think it has like a much more intricate design that looks really beautiful. Like translated into reality. I also like the black-haired version, but it's a lot more simple. So, if I had to pick, I would pick blonde one.
So I've cosplayed both versions, and I personally just prefer the blonde one as well. I don't know, his bob ass haircut is so ugly. I don't know, the blonde I think, and the outfit overall I think is more interesting, so yeah, I would go with the blonde one.
I've never cosplayed Hal, but yeah, I would say blonde hair Hal is so much prettier. Yeah, he's so much prettier there, so yeah, blonde hair for me.
Blonde towel supremacy.
We do our audience vote, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hands up for blonde hair Hal. Oh, okay, that's the majority.
That's
Black
the
hair
correct
Hal.
answer.
Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Alrighty. So which ones? So a character that you've cosplayed before. What do you relate most to? Like a cosplay that is kin. Who have you cosplayed that you most relate to? I see some embarrassing faces there. Admit it. Is this going to be an expose?
Maybe I would say Zack Fair from Final Fantasy VII. I guess more in the sense that he's a very inspirational character for me since really young. Like I played the Crisis Core game before all the other games, which makes not much sense. I mean, it's a prequel, so I guess it can make sense. I was really young, and he's such a positive person that like runs after his dreams and is like, I don't know, always having the right thing to say to comfort people. And I guess like that's something I really look up to and want to. Yeah, it's inspiring.
For me, I would probably say Vash from Trigun. I'm a fan of both the original series and Trigun Stampede, but I think with Stampede, he's definitely more like baby girl. So yeah, he's free spirit and positivity, and yeah, overall I love cosplaying him, and yeah, I think I really relate to him in that sense of just being a very positive person and yeah, helping other people, and yeah, I love him.
I think for me it's still Kuzuha from Meiji Sanji, because he plays a lot of games and so do I, and he's just kind of loud and I don't know, just chaotic. I just kind of relate to that. It's nothing cool, it's just some other person behind a screen playing a game, I guess. But yeah, I would say like similar to that.
Alright, in your 10 plus years of cosplaying, what have you guys found to be the most challenging part of it for you?
For me, I have like a trauma from one of my cosplays. I will tell the story quickly. I think it was 2017. I tried to take part in World Cosplay Summit selection for Switzerland, and I took on a project with that friend I mentioned earlier, my childhood friend. That was Scent and Zero from Drakengard 3, and those costumes are really, 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 really complex. Which I think was a bad choice for a contest like World Cosplay Summit, because it's very performance oriented as well. So like you need something fairly comfortable to move on stage, in my opinion. And I guess I didn't have the skills as well to make it comfortable. So I spent 6 months of my life working so hard every day on the costume, spent an enormous amount of money. I'm not going to say how much, but it was a lot, especially for a student back then. And I remember the 3 days leading to the contest, I basically didn't sleep. We didn't get selected that year. I mean, good side of the story, 2 years later, I tried again World Cosplay Summit selections and we got selected, and I went to Japan for it, so it ends great. But that first attempt was really, really exhausting and really disappointing because, yeah, it was not good. It was a wrong choice of costume and very, very, very difficult. I would say that really marked me. I'm never wearing something this complicated for a contest again.
I don't really have a story like that, but I would just say the overall thing that I find the most difficult in cosplay would be patterning for making your costumes from scratch. I guess overall getting the right silhouette of the character as well. Sometimes, you know, getting the 2D model and putting it into real life, it doesn't always work. Like, you know, there's things flying around and stuff like that. You really need to kind of think, how would this kind of costume look like in real life? And so I find it very difficult to kind of pattern those things out. So I do like sewing, but I think the patterning part, the starting process, is the part I despise about making costumes. Yeah, but once you've figured it out with your patterns and things like that, then it gets fun. But yeah, figuring out the silhouette of things I find a bit difficult.
Procrastination. Okay, I think this is more of a me problem, but I guess more like deadlines. So I always struggle with deadlines of like making stuff. Like I made this 2 days before I flew, so it was not a good time. Yeah, but I think that's the only one, because like I tend to be really overzealous of my projects. So when I come down to it, I kind of just do too much, and then that incurs my time, and sometimes I don't meet deadlines, and that scares me the most. Yeah, but that's the only thing I struggle with. But I think that's a me problem.
I'd say most cosplayers are end up con crunching the night before, the morning of, doing the final stitches.
Before we flew, because Shun came from overseas to Sydney first, and the day before our flight, we were making our costumes. It was such a mess, but I mean, we got there in the end. I mean, I think everyone can understand the pain of con crunching. So.
I just have one question. How did you fit that tail like in your luggage? Like, how did you get that here?
How much did the luggage cost?
Well, it didn't exactly, it wasn't in the luggage. I had to pack it in like a packaging box, and I had to stuff it in. So when I'm at the customs, they'll be like, what is in that? I'm like, tail. And they were like, okay, you know what, it's fine. Yeah, I had to carry like a separate carton of stuff that I made. Yeah, it wasn't in the luggage, but it's like additional stuff that is also included in the baggage weight limit.
I feel like customs, whenever they get cosplayers come through, they leave slightly traumatized. So, has there been any standout memories, like your favorite memories that have come from cosplaying over the years? What's something that stands out to you guys?
Well, I don't want to mention it again, but I guess World Cosplay Summit for me was a very memorable moment, because the contest takes place in Japan, so it was my first time going to Japan, so that's already something really memorable for me. But as well, not so much the contest, but the other contestants, all the times I could spend chatting with people from around the world who share the same passion as me. It was really, 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 really precious. Like, because when I meet people, when I travel a lot around the world, right? But like, this place was really, we all worked so hard to be there, and it was sort of linking all of us. It's very hard to describe, but it really, I always mention World Cosplay Summit when I ask this question. It was amazing.
It's a massive achievement. Like, congratulations on getting selected for it. Like, that's probably one of the big arching competitions where people are like, I want to compete, I want to do that.
For me, I would say it was when I got invited to Universal Studios in Japan to work for, they have like every few months they have a Cool Japan event, which is specifically a lot of the like anime kind of rides and attractions and stuff. And I got hired to be the live actor stage play of Kaito Kid from Detective Conan. And so that kind of was such a crazy experience, because I had to learn like a whole script, which was in Japanese, but it was dubbed. So I had to lip sync it. But just kind of doing that, and then they took my measurements for the costume, and then we had to learn the choreography, and I did the performance with like the other actors as well for around 3 days for the opening of the ride, and that was just such a crazy experience, and I think I'll never forget it because I never thought that I could do something like that in my career. Yeah, so it's very special. Yeah.
Who would have thought just playing dress up would lead to such amazing opportunities?
I think my most memorable one, like for me, it's because like I enjoy the time I spend with my friends. So most of the time when I'm cosplaying, I have to make sure my friends are there with me. So it like motivates me to be in cosplay as well. Yeah, but for me, it would be one of my projects of making a photo book for Kaito Kid and Conan, which was based off one of the movies that was in Singapore. So like I spent a lot of money to like basically have a booking of the hotel Marina Bay Sands there, and like we kind of spent like 4 days having photo shoots around the location of Singapore, in the hotel room, at the infinity pool and everything. But that was just me and my friends just like having fun as well while cosplaying. Yeah, those are one of like a really big memory, like part of cosplay, because cosplay is not just like, you know, being in character, it's also like making memories of your, like really fun-filled memories of your friends.
Marina Bay Sands would have been steep. All right.
So cheesy, I know, but I'm sorry. It is what it is, yeah.
All right. So, Shoko and Knight, you cosplay from Genshin. Do you play Genshin? And if you do you cosplay the characters that you play? So I'm pretty sure Knight, you cosplay Kave, and Shoko, you cosplay Albedo. Do you main those characters?
For me, yeah, when Kabe first released, I was like, role for him. I really love his design and overall like character personality. So yeah, I really like Kabe, and I also cosplay Pantalon, which he only got like 3 seconds of screen time in the trailer, but I was like, that's my man. Like, so yeah, I do play Genshin, but not as much as before. I was really into it kind of like 2021-ish, and then I guess when cons started coming up again, you know, after the like pandemic and stuff, then I kind of had to go back to work, going overseas for events and stuff. So I was like, oh, no more time for Genshin, but I dabbled in it here and there, yeah.
I spent so much money on this game, it's actually ridiculous. Albedo is one like of my favorite characters, and he has been in my team for so long. He's in C3 right now, which is like, for the people who don't know, he's basically like level, I have 4 copies of him, and I spent so much money on this one man. But yeah, most of the times the characters that I cosplay are characters that I played. I think the same as you, I don't play it as often. The last time I stopped was after Fontaine. I was so immersed in Fontaine, and then afterwards I was just like, alright, like I'm good for now. Yeah, I'll be back when Natlan's back, which is pretty much now, like really soon, Natlan, yeah.
So just going on from Night, you mentioned seeing a character for like 3 seconds in the trailer. How do you guys go on from like creating the cosplay or getting the cosplay together of a character that has like no reference images? Like, how do you go about that?
Luckily, they actually sold the coat originally, like the massive coat that they wear. So I ended up buying that costume, like the coat, but the overall jacket and the vest I made myself. But I also don't think it's very accurate because, again, like we don't have much reference to go off of. So I kind of just like saw what other people were doing with it as well. And yeah, I ended up making my jacket blue. But I think now, looking back, like really looking at the reference, I think it's like a very dark navy blue or almost black. So I'm like,
You get a little bit of freedom.
Yeah. Like in the end, I really liked how I did like the silhouette of things. So I'm not too fussed about it. But I usually tend to look at other people's, maybe even fan art helps a lot. Fan art, I based a lot of it off of for like the details and stuff. Yeah.
All right. So Shun, you're a photographer as well, I hear. Was there anything that inspired you to start photography?
America's Next Top Model. It's very, very random, but I started being interested in photography when I was around 10. And my older sister was really interested in modeling, so she kind of was my muse for a few years when we were younger. And I was using those tiny early 2000 cameras, digital cameras, for about 2 or 3 years. And as we kept going, our parents were like, well, we see that you're really passionate about it. Maybe for Christmas we can get you a proper DSLR camera for like joint Christmas for my sister and joint birthday. I think it was, because it's fairly pricey even if we were going for the cheaper ones. And from there, I was still watching America's Next Top Model because they do a lot of like themed photo shoots. So I always liked like, I was not even doing cosplay back then, like with my sister, but we liked this idea of like dressing up in a costume and like creating the atmosphere of a theme. And so that's how I started. And I started cosplay seriously at, I guess 14, 15, and as I had a camera and I was passionate about photography for a long time, it was kind of the obvious choice to go to get a tripod and self-shoot. But nowadays I could purchase a better camera, and it's a camera with Wi-Fi, so I can connect it to my phone. I put my phone on a tripod. I use voice control on my phone so I can see what I'm doing. I just say photo, it like goes off. And I mean, I really, the only downside to it though is that I'm not the best at shooting with posing with other photographers, because I'm so used to have like direct vision on what I'm doing and how I'm posing. So when I'm working with photographers, I'm a bit lost. Like I don't see what I'm doing. So. But I still enjoyed it. It's like great moments to share with people with different artistic vision as well. But yeah, that's how I started photography. Actually, I have to say I kind of prefer photography over cosplay, even though I really, really love cosplay. The part I always enjoy the most is, I feel like the photography pulls the whole project together, and afterwards the editing, like it's really it's like the last step to the whole work. So I guess that's my favorite part.
Is there a favorite photo shoot that you guys have done, like individually or like with a group or something? Is there a photo shoot that's like really memorable, that you really liked how the photos looked, how the energy was during the photo shoot? Is there any one in particular that you really, really love?
I had so many photo shoots. I don't know. Let me think. I guess there's one that I have not done yet, but I'm working towards doing it, and it's I don't want to reveal too much, but it's an underwater photo shoot. Recently I acquired it's a sort of shell for my camera that has like all the buttons on the shell, so I can have the camera underwater. And I did shoot a first concept that was pretty simple, like a sort of lifeguard concept underwater, and it was very, very, very fun. We shot directly in the sea, but yeah, I have this other project I'm working on with my partner Ari. Okay, I will just say it. It's a mermaid and pirate photo shoot, and we want to go to Greece to shoot in the sea again. And the thing with like those photo shoots, like they're quite tricky because we're like in the sea, so there's a lot of motion. Like we need to swim pretty well. The photographers needs to swim pretty well, but underwater photos have this godly, heavenly light because the surface of the water is like the only source of light. And I don't know, it's just very, very easy to take really beautiful shots. And it's really different from shooting in a pool. I've tried as well a pool, but the fact that you can see the bottom of the sea, especially if it's like a rocky beach, like it's just really, really, really stunning. So I guess that will probably be my most memorable photo shoot once it's done. And I've tried to do it before. It's a long story. Like I don't know what to pick other than that because all my shoots in the end, they feel a bit It's very repetitive. I've been doing it for so long. I cannot think of one that stands out particularly to me.
I think for me it would be my Kishibe Rohan shoot that I shot in the Louvre Museum in France, because he has a side manga based on like him going to the Louvre and everything. So that was kind of like my dream, and
She made me wake up at 4 a.m. to go there. Just mentioning.
Oh, it was so bad because I mean we did have to get up really early because the Louvre is obviously like a tourist attraction, right? So it gets super crowded. So we're like, all right, wake up. Yeah, it was a nightmare, but in the end, it was really like my dream project, and I got it done, and I was just so happy. Yeah.
It was worth it, I'm not complaining. We took really beautiful shots. And I have to mention, the architecture there is very interesting to take photos of, because it's a lot of lines, it's very big. Like, it's just very unique type of scenery for photos.
I think for me it would be, you can't find the pictures anymore, but I shot Gravity Falls in Taiwan before. So like the thing about Singapore is everything's like green, but the greenery is like primary colored green. It's not like a ashy kind of low saturated green. So, but like when I went to Taiwan, that was my first time shooting in Taiwan in a public place, but it's not really like populated. It's more of like in a forested area, but we went to like a lot of different locations, and it was just my sister and I. So we were just like exploring, taking pictures. There was like a little shack that we took pictures of as well. I don't know, something about that is just really memorable. And Gravity Falls is like such a huge place in my heart. Yeah, but something about like overseas photo shoots always kind of sticks to you, you know?
Yeah, awesome. Those are all really like awesome like places to take photos, like the Louvre, like underwater. Actually, when you take underwater photos, like how is your wig after getting out of the water? Like, is it horrendous? I'd imagine it would be.
So it's very tricky. Usually for wigs, at least for the mermaid project I have, I want to wear a human hair wig because, I mean, it's very expensive, but the way the hair moves underwater is really different when it's human hair. And I mean, it has to be, in this case, I'll have all the hair backwards because if I start having bangs or something, it will be a nightmare. But yeah, it's quite tricky. You need actually to glue it everywhere and pin a lot because especially with the weight of the wig, it can really just fall out. So it's very tricky. Actually, when you shoot underwater, there's another thing you need to think of. On photos, if you don't wear anything in your nose, you'll have bubbles. So you actually need to clog your nose with. I use those ear wax things that you can put in your ears, and I shove them in my nostrils. Yeah, it's like a lot of things to think about. It's very different from shooting outside of the water.
And we've got a lot of cosplayers just in the audience and around everywhere that vary in different ranges of expertise, level, how long they've been doing it. Are there any tips that you can give to people about cosplay and just anything that you'd like to give to them?
Just remember that you're doing this for fun. There were many times in my cosplay journey where I kind of forgot that and put myself through a lot of pain. And that's not really the point. Like, the point is to enjoy yourself. In the end, if you don't have enough time to finish your costume before the convention, just don't finish it. Like, wear something else. We all have like a lot of costumes back at home. It's not really worth like putting yourself through pain. So yeah, that's my main advice. Just remember you're doing this for fun, and if it doesn't make you happy anymore, figure out why and change things. Like, I feel like that's something very common for a lot of cosplayers. Sometimes like we forget like perspective on reality. Like you don't have to finish this costume for this event. Like you don't need to not sleep for 3 days. It's really not worth it.
I think my advice would be to surround yourself with good company especially like, you know, friends that you cosplay with as well. I think I would say not everyone, but you know, I think people sometimes take cosplay a little bit too seriously, and I think it's really important to still kind of like keep that, you know, passion and having fun with it, with your friends or for yourself. Like, I think it's really important to keep that in mind always, and not to compare yourself to other people as well, because in the end everyone is different and everyone has got different like skill sets and experience, and I think don't feel so bad about things if it didn't work out the way that you wanted to. So yeah, just make sure like you're having fun with it and don't push yourself too hard. Yeah.
I think it's the same answer for me too. Mine would just be trial and error is fine. Making mistakes is fine. Like, it's still a hobby regardless, so don't be afraid of making mistakes. But yeah, if you can't make it, just don't force it upon yourself. But even if it's a mistake, you can still go back and fix it, maybe some other time, you know? Yeah, so just don't stress over cosplay too much. It's all for fun anyways. We're all nerds and weebs here, so.
Cool. Well, I think that's all of our questions for this panel. Can we please get a big round of applause for our cosplayers?
Thank you guys so much for coming along. Thank you guys to the audience for watching. I think we're all ready to go. We're done.
You guys are doing like a signing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a signing session just like in the guest signing area, but then after that we will be allocated at our booth. We have free booths for ourselves, and we're selling like our merchandise and stuff. So yeah, for the guest signing, it's specifically just A4 posters, but if you want something else, then you can come by our booth. And if not, like, yeah, feel free to just come by and say hi, or if you have any questions that we didn't answer for the panel today, then yeah, feel free to ask us at the booth.
They're not that scary.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.